evening, everyone. I want to call a meeting to order. I want to welcome everyone here to May the 18th, a special meeting. Does any member of council have any pecuniary or financial interest to declare? Okay, Mr. Brown, can you do it at the time then? Okay. We have minutes of previous meetings. The special meeting of January the 5th and April the 20th, and a public meeting of April 26th, and the ward review on April 19th. So could we have motions for all those meetings?
Yeah, the ward, sorry.
The ward you're gonna leave to the
Yeah.
chair?
Yeah, I put it there.
Put it in there by mistake,
It
okay.
should be report.
So let's have the three, the special, the 5th of January, the April 20th, and public meeting of April 26th. If we have motions for all of those meetings, please.
Moved by Debbie Pelkey, second by Brian Crosby, motion to approve minutes of special meeting held on January 5th, 2021, closed on April 20th, 2021, and public meeting held on April 26th, 2021.
Who's moving and seconding?
Moved by Debbie Pelkey, second by Brian Crosby.
Okay, would you mind putting in, I didn't hear it unless I didn't hear it. So April the 20th, they're open and closed. They need to be both marked.
No, sorry, that closed was.
Was it? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm going by the agenda.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, sorry, Council. Okay, any discussion on the minutes? All in favor? It's carried. Okay, then the meetings, council is in front of you. We have the education training meeting on June the 3rd. Our lawyer will be here to talk to us about issues that council should be fully aware of. We have the personnel committee on June the 7th. Debbie, you and I are meeting on the 25th though to go through the applications for the job. We have household hazardous waste day on June the 19th, 2021. And special meeting on June the 22nd, 21. I've just called another meeting on July the 13th. So if everybody could mark that in their calendars at 7 o'clock. Okay, so.
Sorry.
Sorry?
Time's the one on June 3rd, what time is it start?
I would have to find out, I think.
9.
I
I have
think
9 o'clock. I marked it down.
I don't think I'll be able to make it then since I'm getting.
9 o'clock.
Again.
so maybe an applicant.
Yeah, it doesn't take long usually.
No, but it's at 9:30, like my shot, so I'd have to go there and then.
Okay.
I'll try to get here as soon as I can.
Okay, well, we'll, the minutes will record what he's saying and that, so the minutes, are we gonna be on Zoom? No, we're not gonna do, that's a meeting that should stay
Oh, yeah.
in
I
closed.
understand.
It's in closed, okay, sorry?
The training meeting, is that started on?
Yes,
Yes, which meeting, did you
the
say?
training.
Oh, the training, I thought you said the draining, okay, yes, okay. So, everybody got all of that? So now we do have a delegation tonight, and that's Bill. Is Bill on?
No, Bill, Joel is taking Bill's spot.
Okay. Is that Joel there?
Yes.
Hi, Joel. Welcome to our special meeting. I'm Janice TJ. I'm the mayor, and I'll go around and introduce the staff and the council, Joel, so that you know us, and then I'll give the floor to you, okay? So to my extreme right, is our road superintendent, Dean Hawley, Brian Pekoski, member of council, John Jeffrey, another member of council, Ted Brown. I introduced myself. Sue Sheridan is our CAO, Debbie Poplinski, councilor, Carl Keel, councilor, and Stanley Pekoski. And to my extreme right, we do have a couple of firefighters here and our fire chief. So firefighter is Jimmy McClement. Bob Garrow is our fire chief. And I believe Jimmy, you and Kenny are captains, and they're captains, and then Kenny Schulis. So I've introduced the whole room, Joel, and I'm gonna pass it over to you. Welcome.
Great, thank you, Mayor. Hi, everyone. My name is Joel Helmer. I'm a co-owner of Paradiso Bees, a company local to Killaloe. I'm coming to you tonight as we've been working in partnership with some local businesses as well as Chris Neff develop a few little projects. The first we're kind of working on, which is sort of an offside here, is a BIA. So sort of we're working to have sort of a cohesive sort of communicative branch between business owners and the town, just to kind of, you know, work to develop the community here that we sort of love and do business in. So that's sort of what we've been working on the last few months. But with that, you know, we're hoping to get some projects going that we think would help sort of bring light to the Killaloe area. So the big project we've been working on right now is just with putting together a couple of signs along Highway 60. We found that, you know, Killaloe is sort of that one spot in between Eganville and Barry's Bay where if you're not paying attention, you can sort of drive by it pretty quick sometimes. You'll see the beaver tail sign, but not a lot of signage coming either way, indicating that the town is just off the highway. So we thought that a good start for us would to be put two signs up along Highway 60, one going eastbound and one westbound, obviously sort of denoting the town. You know, there are a few points we sort of want to point out with the signage. We sort of want to actually just indicate to people, a lot of travelers now, especially sort of in the market and the pandemic realities, there are a lot more people coming up this way and finding Killaloe, and we'd like to sort of draw attention to the area. So we thought the sign would be good to sort of let people know that we are here, sort of provide sort of a rough idea of the services that they'd find here in town, as well as we've been working with Chris, and we thought we'd like to sort of develop maybe a tagline or something on the sign. It's sort of a hook line, you know what I mean, about Killaloe. So that how we come about that, you know, I know Chris has done some really great projects with the Winter Wonderland theme on Facebook. We could have a name the tagline sort of promotion thing as well on Facebook. Sorry, Chris, I'm just throwing out random ideas here for you as we go. Anyways, these two signs, Chris does have sort of a schematic here as to where the signs are going to be located. What we've done sort of behind the scenes is we've worked on some logistics. So we've sort of had Chris speak with the Ministry of Transportation to sort of find out, you know, as far as what the parameters would be for placement of signs and what you know, the contracts would be with them. As well, he's been seeking out some advice from or some quotes from private landowners as well. So that, you know, we've kind of found through this sort of process, we found two locations. Chris, would you be able to put those
absolutely
locations up right now that we found? So one of the locations, which is going west.
Sorry to interrupt, Sue. Could you just let me share my screen there, please, and I'll carry forward. Oh, here we go.
Sorry, Joel, just technical stuff. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Go ahead.
Chris, if you want to take over, just describe what you're looking at.
So right now we're looking at a plan of Chris Foy's property. This is one of the areas that we are looking to develop. As you will see here, sign C is undeveloped. There's nothing there. Sign B is where the Fresh Mart sign is, and sign A is where the old Killaloe Sports Plus is. We've managed to work with the land owner, Chris Foy, and he said that in the future, if we would be willing to develop this, that he would donate the land. So everything that we're talking about today in terms of cost is for signs and permits. The land has all been donated. So this is where we would like to put it, sign C, and this is coming into Killaloe. And I'll share my other one here. This is the Hoffman property, who he has also graciously donated this property. And this is just outside of Killaloe. And this is actually right beside the snowmobile trail. So it benefits the winter tourism as well as the actual traffic on the highway. So that's a logistics of what we're looking at. And then I'll pull up a slide here so Joel can go with the costs here involved with that. And there you are right there.
So yeah, so thanks, Chris. So in our work here, we've determined that this is sort of going to be our budget over the course of the next 5 years for getting the signage up in place. And as Chris said, that sort of includes the actual quotes for getting the signs done, and you say the permit costs as well, Chris?
Yes, the permit costs.
Permit costs as well. So and as I was saying before, the BIA is sort of looking to be able to fund this through years 2 to 5. But what we've come to council for is an ask of 50% on that 4865. So we have approximately 10 businesses right now in our group which have committed to that 50% cost of 4865, and we're coming to council to see if we could ask for the other 50% in order to get our funding situated so that we can sort of take the next steps in developing the sign and getting them actually placed on site.
Okay.
So that's my presentation. Thank you.
Well, Joel, I can tell you're a little bit nervous, but you did well. So thank you very much. Yeah. So Chris did sit down and chat with me about this, and I asked him to come to council for approval. And so you're looking for about $2,500?
Correct.
432 or something.
So, and I do want to speak in favor of this. When Chris came and chatted with me, it's so wonderful to see that the businesses are starting to form a group and working together. And that's how we're going to make Killaloe more viable to the people out there to come and shop and do their business in Killaloe. So I think $2,500 is a good, it's showing that the business group is committed, and even during these difficult times, COVID times, that they're willing to put in $2,500, and they're asking us to put in $2,500 to promote these signs. So, Joel, would you be willing to answer questions if council has some?
Absolutely. I'll answer them to the best of my abilities, and whatever I can't, I'll be sure to pass the buck to Chris.
Yeah, I've asked all the questions. Chris was good to answer all of mine, and I told him that they very well may be coming from council. So Carl, did you have a question?
Yeah, Joel.
Hi, Carl.
Auto River Power is going to be installing 2 charging stations at the information booth.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely free. I don't know when it's happening. I can check into it and see when they're going to install it. But if you want to, I was talking to Chris about this, you want to put it on your site, come in and get charged or whatever.
That's a great idea, Carl, because certainly with the way it's going, that's going to be a big draw for sure. So that's a really good call.
We'll be the only ones from Pembroke to, I don't know, Huntsville, I don't know.
Yeah, like they have them in Deep River and a couple in Pembroke, and I think, I can't think of many else. So that's a really good point, Carl.
We'll be installing them here eventually.
Great.
Chris, you can take note of that to share that with Joel, and you could share that with the business community and
Absolutely.
see how we can. Anybody else have comments or questions? Ted?
Well, I'm 100% behind it too. I think it's definitely going to draw people in the town, and it's nice, like you said, to see all the businesses getting together and trying to make things work.
Yeah. We're a stronger community, Joel, when we all help each other. And council, we have an economic development committee which is chaired by Mr. Brown, and that's trying to show the community we want to help our businesses. So this is a small ask and something that we can manage. We've already passed our budget. So my CAO was looking at me when Chris was talking to me about finding $2,500, and I said, we'll have to find it. If council agrees tonight, we'll find it. So, okay, Debbie?
So just to let you know, Joel, I am making the motion for 2,500. The only question I have is, who would we make it out to?
Well, I'm assuming they're going to want us to buy the signs so we get some of the GST back. benefit.
Yeah, but if
Is
it's,
that-
or, but if we're donating it to like the business, the BIA, like if
Well,
they're
we're,
not,
yeah,
I
we're
don't
not,
know how to.
yeah, we're not donating it. So
No.
what we're doing is we're paying half the cost of those signs. I'm assuming then we will own half of them. Is that correct, Joel, in your mind?
Yes,
Okay, so I'm just saying, like, how would I write this, since it's not in the budget, we have to do the motion, right?
So
I'm just
that
wondering
we
how I-
participate in a partnership with the BIA, and we're putting $2,500 towards signage outside of the village.
How about motion for council to contribute $2,500 to,
The council form a partnership and purchase 2 signs outside of the village at a cost of $2,500. Yours was just as good.
you want to write it? I couldn't write that fast. Motion to. for
Whatever
council
you write's good.
to form a partnership.
Just get the intent of what I said.
and if I can just, as an aside, Chris has been really instrumental in this, and I do just want to say it's really been a pleasure working with him, and he really has been, he's really been a real kind of fire behind all of this as well. So we really do appreciate Chris being here and what he's done so far.
And the council has given him permission. He came to council about the BIA, telling us that they were going to be forming. Danny Harrington has met with me several times.
Mhm.
A strong driver in trying to convince me that it was a good thing, and he did. The only question I have, I guess, because, and I probably should have asked Chris when he and I were discussing this, and Chris, the businesses that are open don't just have to belong to Killeen, is that right? Because I've got 2 business owners sitting in my chambers. How far does that go?
So sorry, are you talking about the BIA zone or the, like who can participate? Because anyone can participate and they can contribute to the BIA. But the BIA, just for the tax levy purposes, does have a boundary, but it will support KHR in general and trying to bring business in. But just because of the design of the BIA, there will be a barrier, but we can, that all will be in November whenever I bring it to council to formalize it, because it has to go all through the budget and there's a whole process for that. So that will be determined as we're going, that boundary area, but it's just a physical boundary for the tax levy. It has nothing to do with who can join in. And
The BIA are going to work on promoting our township. And the businesses in the village, of course, are, you know, our first site, right? But I'm hoping, and I'll pass this on to Joel, I hope that the BIA will extend itself out to other businesses, and we can help through websites and through promotion, that we can help every business in the KHR, since we're all, you know, we're gonna be asking every taxpayer to help pay for the $2,500 sign. So I'm hoping that all businesses in KHR can benefit at some point, if they choose to join the BIA, that would be part of their promotion.
Absolutely. We totally, fully believe that there are power in numbers with this. So the more, the merrier.
Thank you. I just wanted that to be out there to the public and to our 2 business owners. Okay. Motion, any other questions of Joel or Chris on this issue before I call for the motion? Okay, let's have the motion. Council motion on the floor, sorry.
Moved by Carl Keel, second by Debbie Kaplinski, motion for council to form a partnership and purchase signs in the amount of $2,500 to be placed outside of the village of Killeen.
To the mover and seconder, would you mind saying who the partnership is with? The BIA?
That's what I asked.
Oh, I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you.
I said do it, yeah.
You know,
Can I
this-
actually put what the BIA stands for? Because some people
Yes.
don't know. Business,
Improvement area.
okay.
Just so the public know, they want to know who the partnership is and why we're giving $2,500 of their money. Okay, council, motion back on the floor, amended motion.
Moved by Carl Kale, seconded by Debbie Plinsky. Motion for council to form a partnership with the business improvement area and purchase signs in the amount of 2,500 to be placed outside of the village of Kildow.
Perfect. Okay, any comments or questions on the motion? All in favor? Unanimous, it's carried. Thank you, Joel, you're very successful in your approach, and I wish you and the organization best wishes to all the businesses. And again, Chris is there, I know he's gonna be sitting on at your meetings, and if he can assist you, he'll come back to council on your behalf. Thank you very much, and have a good evening, okay?
Great. Thank you very much, council. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Bye, Joel.
Hi, Joel.
Okay, council, so I've asked that Bob, our fire chief's report comes up first. As you can see, we have two captains here. We met as a fire committee, and so there is an operational issue that they're going to ask council regarding. And so I'm going to let Bob and his two captains speak about the issue. So Bob, I want you to go through your report first. The council, you have on your desk his report, and then at the end, we'll discuss the operational issue. So I'll pass it over to you, Bob.
All right, good evening, council. The report that's in front of you is highlighting the activities since our last special meeting, which was on April 20th. Some of these, especially for people that go to the EOC, is a bit redundant in your case because we meet weekly. But for council at large, on April 20th, we had an MNRF Fireland Operational Training. April 21st, we had a PAC 6. Now that's the Provincial Advisory Committee. That was a virtual meeting. April 22nd, we had a brush fire on Windermere Lane. April 23rd, 30th, May 7th and 14th, we had COVID-19 ministry municipal meetings. April 25th, we had a fire smoke under the hood at Buck Hill and Simpson Pit. May 5th, we had an Ontario Hazardous Materials Responders Association Zoom meeting. That used to be the old Designated Officers Organization. May 6th, we had our ladder certification. May 9th, we had hydro lines down on Mountain View Road. I understand that 4 poles needed to be replaced after that. Somebody's getting a nice bill. May 10th, we had a car fire on Simpson Pit Road. May 10th, we also had a fire committee meeting, which is what Janice had just mentioned. May 11th, we had the fire department bi-monthly meeting. May 12th, we had a follow-up discussion with Chris regarding fireworks, as there seems to be an issue with the school board restricting or refusing use of their lands and whatnot due to some of the COVID-19 restrictions, but it's primarily focused on what they determined to be gatherings, and we don't think we're a gathering, and Chris is going to discuss with the school board and see if we can get that one back on track. Then we had the new fire hall progress meeting, and out of that meeting, that's the next 3 or 4 pages here, pictures. This is actually off the report to Tyler Peters from, what is it, Greenwood? Greenview, okay. And this is obviously a week or so ago, and as you can see, we've actually had some improvements since because the asphalt is down, the lines are painted. But you can see them getting ready for that. They were getting the landscaping in place on that page. There's a sidewalk section you can see right at the corner of the building that had to be replaced. That's been fixed and updated. You can see some of the angles on the bottom of our page 4 here. This is aiming out at the back side with the 2 doors, and you can see the mezzanine level that's in there. This is a reverse on the next page on photo 5. You can see it from the back looking towards the front. Again, that railing outlines the mezzanine area. You can see a nice long hallway here. We're virtually ready to go. Even the baseboards are on, the tiles are down, they're all steel, the ceiling lights are in, everything. The next page is the kitchen cabinets are in place. We just have to bring over the appliances, which are sitting in the old Killaloo Hall. Then you have the electrical room and mechanical room with the water heaters and all of the panels that we need. Photo 9 on page 7 is look at the doors. We still have the green tape on there. Those push button openers and that work already. And again, below it's another one of those hallway pictures. They're just about finishing off. And photo 11 in this case is a stainless steel cabinetry that's in our laundry room. So when they start banging around SCBA's and heavy bunker gear and whatnot, that's why it was chosen to do it with stainless steel. And if you flip over to page 9, right at the top, the last thing we had on this cycle from the 12th to 13 was the brush burn at the recycling site on Mask Road. And you can see what we were doing. We were burning, we went in about 6 o'clock, started the fires going here. Got a couple of pictures of Kenny keeping the heat down, keeping some of the smoke controlled, and et cetera, et cetera. Down the middle, you can see as we get burnt through it a little bit, we get the loader in, breaking up the pile, pushing the outers inward. Then if you get that dark picture, that's we were waiting at night for it to kind of die down a little bit, but that was mainly pine needles that was flaring up, but they finally settled down. The one on the right corner was interesting because that came in the next morning, and that's almost like a butterfly chrysalis there. It's all sealed in with ash. And that's what we came upon until we got then the loader to break it open and she started flaring again. And within the hour or so, we had it pushed down water. And as you can see at the bottom right picture, that's what's left of that burn pile. So we have, you know, the way that roads are having that pile put together, et cetera, it's much cleaner, it's much quicker, it's working good, much better than the first 2 tries. We seem to be getting improvements each time. And we had one more on May the 14th. We had a burning complaint on Elm Street. Okay, we'll come back to the issue and fire in a moment. Let's get through the COVID stuff here, all this interesting confirmed cases. Renfrew County and District updated yesterday at 12:03. Confirmed cases at 675. Resolved cases at 624, and deaths at 7, which I understand added 1 today to make it 8. Ontario, confirmed cases 509,000, resolved cases at 474,000, deaths at 8,485, hospitalized at 1,292, COVID cases in the ICU at 785, and in the ICU and ventilators at 552. Now those last 3 numbers are down from the last one we reported on even a week ago. Nationally confirmed cases at 1.33 million, resolution at 1.23 million, and deaths at 24,948. And I understand by the end of the day, we hit our 25,000 number for Canada. Internationally, we're at 163.8 million, resolved cases 142.3 million, and deaths at 3,395,000. The next is the COVID-19 vaccine tracker. Yeah, the Ontario count is 7,064,815, and they added 139,583 shots today. Canada-wide, we're at 18,415,880, and you'll see the breakdown on that on page 13. It's highlighted in the red and the green as well. And if you look at the numbers of percentages of doses administered and dosage administered per 100,000 population, you will see that those figures are at about 47 to 48%. So we're getting close to that 50 number. Then you've got your typical weekly ones that Sue keeps sending out every day, many times a day sometimes. Okay. 659 was the number here, and again, deceased is up to 8, it's wrong there. But if you want to look at the last page, you can see where the hot spots are right now. You've got 12 active cases in Arnprior, you've got 9 in Laurentian Valley, and 10 at McNabb Braeside. And we got 6 at Whitewater. We're running at 0 right now for us, but we did have a case or 2. I'm not sure if it was 2 the final number for 1 to 4.
I believe there was 2, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the basic report. Any questions on the report part?
Okay, so council will go the first part on the fire. Is there any comments or questions? Any of the pictures of the fire hall? Looks beautiful. I just wanted to pass on, there was a lady that came in today and had a meeting with Sue and I, and she said to me that, and she doesn't live in Killaloe or anywhere near Killaloe, she lives in Round Lake. She said, Janice, tell the fire department that I, as a taxpayer, I'm very proud of that new fire hall, and I'm glad that she's done it. So that's good to hear.
Thank you.
Okay, page 6, more pictures, comments, questions. 7, 8. The fire, the burn at the recycling site, they did it really good, excellent, the staff, the road crew, everything went really smoothly. Anything about COVID? Anything on COVID, his whole report? Okay. Any questions on his report at all? All right, so council, the fire committee met, and we had Bob and the two captains, Jim and Ken, part of that meeting, and we discussed an operational issue. And I asked Bob to bring it, and Jim and Ken to bring it before council for consideration. It is an operational review and an operational change if council so wishes. We weren't unanimous as a committee on a decision, so that's why I asked them to come and talk to us. So having said that, I'm gonna pass it over to you, Bob, first, and then you can ask your two captains to weigh in.
All right. Again, getting to our new fire hall, as you know, we had it built with 5 bays. Some of that's for expandability. It means we can park one engine behind another. We have enough length generally. Or if someday down the road in 25 years, we end up with a ladder truck would go in a twin bay, and one other truck would move sideways to cover it off. But currently what we have is we have 3 trucks in Killaloe in the old fire hall on Civic Street. Plus we have one parked up at the municipal garage, which is our tanker, okay? And what I was asking of the fire committee is when we move to the new location, hopefully sooner than later, and doors ever come in.
End of July, I'm told, end of July.
Yeah, as soon as the doors come in and we can seal it up for security purposes, et cetera, then we can start looking at that. But I asked if we could move the tanker down from the municipal garage down to the new fire hall. Reasons for this are administrative. There are also operational efficiencies where just everyone's meeting there, you make your decisions and go. No radio communications are necessary, et cetera. Some of the issues raised, well, if people in Wilno, if there's a fire in Wilno, they'll come and pick up the truck and drive it back to Wilno, which operationally probably will not happen because they will do the site setup, et cetera, what's happening in Wilno. And somebody from this area will be going up. Now, whether we need the tanker at that point, nobody's quite sure necessarily. What do you got to add to that, Kenny?
Basically, the tanker, there's basically one operational fireman that normally goes for it, and that's me. I'm usually 99% of the time going for it. Right now, Tom is at the Rose Garage, so if he's closer during the day, he usually grabs it, but it's basically me. Especially with our communications as they've been so great lately, that.
That's being facetious.
Yeah.
I know, he did that for 10 years, he told me about that.
If I don't respond, most of the other firemen are responding either to the Killaloe Hall or they're responding to the site. Can't talk to anybody on the radio, so they don't realize that the tanker isn't coming unless someone else goes for it. Right now, operationally, it's basically me going for it. The idea of moving it into the Killaloe Hall or the new hall would be that there's absolutely more drivers going to that location. And it saves the possibility of one man not showing up to it and it's needed.
If I want to add something to that as well, this is a tanker. And
Yes, it is a
a tanker carrying water. It's not a pumper tanker. It can pump. There's some issues with that because it was not purchased as a pumper tanker. It's a tanker with an add-on pump. And to explain an issue here, Kenny, don't mention location or anything,
Okay.
but talk about the one where you actually were, or was first on scene.
We went to a fire call in which the tanker was the first vehicle on scene. The tanker does have pumping applications, but the pumping applications are minimal. Basically, you're looking at 50 PSI, and that's out of an 1.5-inch hose. Normally, we're running 100 PSI or more out of all our other trucks. the gentleman that was there, wanted to get involved into the fire itself. I pulled him away because of the smoke. And he was wondering why we didn't grab a BA. There is no BAs on the tanker. Shouldn't say that for sure, but there was BAs on that tanker until there was some that was decertified and they were removed. But he wasn't impressed with that. I did receive a phone call twice in regards to this. But I did explain to him, it's just a tanker. As long as, how do I say this? As long as the public knows and understand that it's just a tanker. Like, if we take it to a call, it's not gonna be it'll be responding, but it's not going to be, if there's a house fire, put it this way, we're not pulling on the hose. Unless it's something that can be basically knocked down quickly with that truck. But other than that, it's used as water supply. I just want to make it clear.
Thank you.
Jimmy?
Oh, you hit it right on there. Its biggest thing is we only one person responding to that truck, and that's Kenny, and he needs life too. So.
Do what?
Are you
It just,
done?
and it's just as close for him to hit the Killu Hall as it is there. He probably makes better time to hit Killu than the new hall.
Again.
That's my reasonings for this.
No, I think to the council that wasn't at the fire committee, all good reasons. I can't argue with any of the gentlemen on the points that they made.
Thank you very much, okay?
But
There's a but.
there is a but. We built that fire truck to fit that fire hall, okay? And when they told me that, you know, it can't do much because it's, you know, the pump isn't, first of all, the firemen don't use it enough to know how to operate it. And they made some really good points. But that truck, if there's a fire in Wilno, that truck can get there and it can be the first so that we could call mutual aid. So that truck is there faster. They're telling me it's only a few kilometers, yes, but every second counts. So the other thing is we built that truck to reassure the Wilno people that, you know, we'd have something there that would be available. And yes, the operational issues that they talk about it's a fact, okay? It's limited, but that truck, I believe, should stay there until we have to renew that truck. We have to buy a new one. I think then we can look at the operational issues. I don't believe it's in the best interest of council to move that truck. Our public will be objective, I believe. And so I recommended to the fire committee that we leave it where it is. And in the future, they can look at the operational issues. And yes, Kenny's right, he has to go by to get there. But I still think that the advantage of being the first, if the truck was a fire right next door to that fire hall, you can move that truck there, you can get mutual aid going faster. And so I thought those are all advantages. And I believe Brian and Stanley agreed with me, but there's only 3 of us. So I do need a 4th member of council to tell the staff. And again, I want the public and every council to know, I agree with their points. They're well made, but they've done their job now. They have brought the issue to council. It's an operational issue and it's up to council. So then they can live with themselves. We did the promotion, we did our best, and council either for or against it. So I'm asking council for consideration of leaving it there. You can look at it in the future. If we do have to replace it, that's the time I think council should make the move and make that decision and buy a truck that's not, I don't want to say useless, but not as.
Not just a tanker.
Yes, not just a tank. All right, so I'll ask if council has any other comments or questions on the issue. Carl, you want to go? Yeah.
Madam Mayor, you're talking about calling mutual aid. What circumstances, if that tanker went to Willow, you wouldn't call mutual aid on a call?
No, because we're coming, if that tanker's taking the lead up there, we're 2, 3, 5 minutes behind.
You can call mutual aid whenever you want.
Yeah, but
You can call mutual aid when you're leaving the holiday.
But don't
Deer
we,
season, you got everybody hunting.
Yeah.
You know guys aren't responding You can put it each way, call it.
Okay, well,
Oh, I mean,
No, it wouldn't just be because the tanker was going first, we call for mutual aid, but
Like, we had that big house fire in Golden Lake last summer. Our chief called mutual aid for 2 apartments as he was leaving his house.
but the fire chief did it, right?
It doesn't matter.
So your truck doesn't have to be first on scene? That changed, because it used to
As
be.
long, no, it doesn't have to be first on scene, as long as all your equipment is being used as available. So
Okay, well then that argument. I think the people of Wilno would be more reassured.
There'd be nothing in Wilno if that was the case.
But,
It's not really well known,
so,
Closer to.
not much.
I only need 1 member of council.
for me,
Yeah, I know.
that's part of the reason I'm sitting in this chair right now, is because that was part of the big argument back in the day.
Yes.
I agree 100% with these gentlemen. That tanker can be the first on scene, like Kenny said, it doesn't do anything. Let's go get the people who will know more pissed off, because there's a truck there, and nobody's doing anything, waiting for the pumper to arrive. If Kenny's the only one that's ever going for it, it's not gonna get there any faster. Having the tanker in, at the roads department, having the pumper at the roads department isn't gonna get it on scene any faster unless Tom is there. If it's any other time of the day, the guys still have to leave their house. In my opinion, nobody's gonna get there any quicker, will they? Like,
If I go for the tanker, I'm usually there first, and I usually get to the scene before the Killu Hall gets there.
so that's an end.
But it's, we're talking minutes.
Yeah,
It's not,
I don't see any benefit of having the truck there. I don't think it helps loan taxpayers.
What's the bad thing about having it there? You're telling me
what's
the
the
truck
bad
is.
thing about it?
Yeah.
It just, the worst case scenario is if, for some reason, I'm not there, I'm gone to the lake, to the cottage or whatever, and nobody knows that I'm not
But it's,
responding.
if
And they get halfway there and then they realize, well, no one went for it, or they get all the way there and no one went for it, and you need it. Then someone has to come all the way back.
But it's every
That's the worst case
scenario. We
scenario.
cannot protect every scenario. John?
I feel there's leaving a lot of responsibility on Kenny to be the one driver. This way, if the truck is in, Killu, there could be several drivers end up for it. If Kenny can't make it or he's not around, you can't find Kenny and there's a fire, and we depended on him to bring it, and you get there and you need it, it's not there, that's another scenario.
Like I
And
say,
there's
That's the way I
usually,
feel about it.
there's usually about 5 drivers responding to the call.
When the house burnt at your place, that truck at Jimmy's there, the tanker, nobody went for it.
No.
but that was during hunting season too, so.
So if it's
That's
so
understandable.
good, why are we talking about it? Leave it where it is.
No, it's good when it shows up the scene for shoveling water,
Yeah.
and we need water.
John, are you finished? Did you finish
So
your?
like, this way, if the tanker is at the Killu Hall and Kenny's not around, there could be 5 or 6 drivers for 4 or 5 anyway, or 2 or 3, better than one not coming. That's what I look at.
Jimmy is just as close to that truck as Kenny is. So don't tell me you're the only guy that can drive the truck, because that's not true.
But usually I'm responding for 43 or one of the other trucks to Killu Hall, so we don't know. I go to Killu Hall and find out no one went to, but I'm not gonna turn around and go back out, it's all here.
But you could,
Oh, you could.
so I
As far as
can't,
radio communications were better, so everybody knows what's going on.
we're working on it,
I
Kenny.
know, but that's a big issue. You know how I
So
feel.
like, for example, that fire at Jimmy's, the Golden Lake tanker was there before the building, Hager Orchard's tank was there. Because
Okay.
Nobody responded.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? I'm gonna call for the vote. I'm hoping that Brian and Stanley will stay firm with their decision from the other night, and then I only need 1 other member. So I'm gonna go around, yes or no, to leaving it there. Stanley,
Yes, till it's retired, and then forget about building one to fit that small stall.
correct. Carl,
No.
Debbie,
I think it has to stay there. Wilno doesn't have the protection.
I think these are putting people's lives at stake. That's my opinion. You're sending a truck that might not have anybody respond. How much money was spent on that truck to put a pump in there to make it a pumper?
I don't know, I was,
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
yeah, I was amazed that I had agreed, somebody told me to buy a tanker. I don't know, it was Jim Whalen back in those days, I guess he was the one.
Because it was
The tanker replaced the tanker that was already there.
Okay,
The
so,
one that HR had way back in 1942,
okay,
that's what it replaced.
but somebody told council to buy that truck.
But what we ended up doing was buying the tanker, but we never bought a tanker with a pump on board. That was the issue.
Okay, so I'm not a fireman, so I don't know, somebody said, if he comes to tell me, let's buy a plow truck, I don't go to him and say, okay, you're gonna have a bolt there and the tire there and all that. I assume he knows what he's talking about.
How many pumpers do we have in Killaloe?
Two.
So we need a
But you
third.
can't put a pumper in there, it won't fit, so that's not gonna work. Hey, no.
Take a run out.
Always
Move these
that's
up.
right.
Yes or no? You say guys, yes or no?
To stay there?
Yes. John,
No.
Brian,
Yes.
and I have to break the tie, and you know I'm going to say it stays there. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay,
We tried.
keep up the good work. We're very supportive of what you guys
Before
do.
you leave, I have
Yes?
another thing.
Okay,
So when this hall is done, we're gonna bring that little pump in.
The Mcdougall,
Yeah,
we're gonna bring it, put it out in front,
we're gonna
yeah.
put it up
right
there.
underneath that, over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I think it was Jim that recommended we put that old tanker in the hall in Wilno to satisfy me.
No, that was me.
No, it wasn't
That was me,
Jim.
I'm being sarcastic.
Trust me, I
I'm
know.
being sarcastic.
No, we're very proud of that piece of equipment, so we definitely are gonna display it.
Yeah, right now it's chained to the flagpole at the Round Lake Hall.
Okay.
You gotta.
Somebody might run off with it?
Oh, we put it up in the works garage.
Where the,
You haul it to Willow.
where the front entrance door is,
Where
beside, to the right side of that, there's enough room to put the Mcdougall. We'll put it in there as soon as we can get the okey-dokey to do that.
Okay, well, thank you, and guys, thank you very much, you did a good job.
All right, take care.
Have a nice night.
Right, early.
Okay, so
I will.
council, you too, good. We're gonna go on to reports then, so thank you, Dean, for being so patient.
Sorry?
And they tried to throw in, I'll just tell you that they tried to throw in that we should build a new, who threw that in? Somebody was asking for Dean to get a new roads yard, who did that? Dale, oh, Dale, yeah.
Wasn't there, I never
I
asked.
almost had a heart attack, yeah, anyways, okay, Dean, give us your report.
Okay, our street sweeping is completed now. Brushing continues. Grass maintenance has started as well. We have got our loader back together. We had to split it in half to do both center pins in our 2010 John Deere, so it's back together. The reason being for that is, I guess there's no grease nipples in them. They're all the rubbers or whatever, and with the winter sand and stuff, it doesn't last. So we have the normal pins in there now with actual grease fittings in there, so you can actually grease them. Our A gravel, we've been doing some A gravel there on a section of Deer Trail Road. Locates should be completed this week on this road. So hopefully next week there, we'll be able to start ditching the culverts and the gravel on that road. Tomorrow I'm meeting with BEI with regards to the A gravel tender. They're most likely to start the first week of June or the second, most likely the first, but just depends on which grubbing and stuff they have to do first. Working on the other tenders as well for the surface treatment plus the hot mix. Our first load of calcium for Dusset Crescent is this Friday. And we will continue with the others following the week after. One of our summer students have started on Monday as well, so that's good with the grass maintenance. We can get them going with that. The Cameron Street Bridge has been paved today. I called them yesterday, reminding they had taken down to accommodate the crane that they had to come in there. So they had to take it down in order to move the pole and bring the crane in to lift the building down. So I just reminded them that we still have a street light there. It has to be put back up on the pole. So they kind of forgot about it. So they didn't doing it, obviously. Stan and I went to look at that boat launch there in Greater Madawaska for the mat there. And we went there and there was nothing there. I don't know if they took them out or what, but there was nothing there. So I talked to a few people around trying to get prices and see if I can. I can't find nothing quite yet. I thought I'd have something tonight's meeting, but there was nothing that can come back. So I did contact the M&R though as well, and regardless of what council decides to do, if we do get it mapped or whatever, if we still need a permit, it just depends on the cost and the size of the mat. So if it's an 8 by 12 or whatever size of mat, it's still gonna have to, we still have to get a permit from the M&R to put it down there.
So I'll stop Dean. Dean was doing that investigating, and Sue and I had a meeting with John Yakubuski's office, and she asked me what the deal was with us and the boat launch. And so at first I was going, boat launch, are you putting in a new boat launch and all this stuff? And I'm going, no. And all of a sudden, I think it tweaked Sue, and she said, oh, what about the mat? And so it has stirred something up. So it must be a contentious issue that their office has been contacted about that. So we better be, so I did tell Dean to go ahead though and get the price, because if council decides that they want to do something, we need to know what it's going to cost. Now the guy told Dean it's expensive. So and secondly, we need to get a permit. And if it has caused a stir,
Do you think it has caused a stir in the residents?
I don't know, Laura wouldn't tell us, just she wanted to know what we were doing because it had stirred something up there in the office, so I don't know. Anyways, I don't know if it was a positive, somebody calling saying, council's thinking about this mat, and I hope that you guys support it. She wouldn't share anything more than just what she did.
I didn't think they even had an office there anymore.
Well, no, you're talking about the ministry office, I'm talking about John Yakubuski's office. Because that's the head. So I don't know about the office itself, but we know we have to get a permit, though. Dean was able to find that out. So the council, I told Dean that we need to get direction from you people about, do you want him to go ahead and keep looking for this map, or what do you want to do?
Well, I don't know, they seem to be doing well. There's about 50 boats a day getting in.
It's busy there, like it's.
The water is, the water is up there
And,
down to.
I'll just tell you that the regulation says that the boat launch cannot be open for any recreational boating or fishing. The only thing that people are allowed to get to their residence, so you can take your boat and go to your residence. Other than that, the legislation says nobody's to be boating out there. Well, not my problem, but we had a meeting today with senior management, and the senior management is assuring me they contacted, County did contact the Renfrew County, and we're covered. We do have postage there about the COVID and all that, so we are protected. If somebody goes out there and the police pull them over and say, what are you doing? That's up to them, and they're the ones that have to defend their position. But if you get a call from a taxpayer, the boat launches are only open for people to be able to access their property, and not an emergency or to access their property. They are not to be boating, they're not to be fishing, none of that's allowed. So I'm just passing that on to council, okay? All right, sorry, Dean. I just wanted to make sure they knew that. So would you continue then, please?
Sure. We've had a few of our intersection signs stolen. There's been quite a few of them actually stolen. Yeah. So at least like people should know that it's not, it's not like it's stealing obviously, But like for emergency vehicles and stuff, like if you get somebody, a paramedic out of Renfrew County that comes here, you know, and you say, where's O'Grady Settlement or whatever road, it's difficult for them to actually get there. So it is a very dangerous hazard for paramedics and fire as well, and everything.
And I'll remind, this is years ago, we had a sign that went down. Somebody either stole it or something, and we got sued because there was an accident, and we lost.
Well, that happened in North Oklahoma not long ago at the end of, that road is 41.
Yes.
So stop sign.
Yes. Yeah, we had a case and I mean, is the, you know, I think, I don't know who was the road super at that time, but it could have been Clifford. But anyways, he said like, you know, I was by there yesterday and the sign was up. Well, that's done, you still are responsible 24/7 for those signs.
So see what happened at the time there in North Oklahoma, Harvey Rexine, I think he was the one involved in it. Two of them came along and they seen the sign was stolen or knocked down or something. But
Oh,
they
yes.
sort of left somebody standing there.
Yeah, he didn't and he lost the case.
And they went, an accident happened was before they got back with the sign.
Yeah. So
They
he was negligent.
Because there was two of them in the truck.
Yeah. He was negligent because he didn't allow somebody to stay there and warn the public, so he was held liable for that.
Was High Country stolen? That's everybody's favorite sign.
Okay, go ahead.
So just waste management report. So yes, as Bob had said, the brush has been burned by the fire department at the landfill, and they did a good job there as well. There wasn't much left at all to clean up. So I called about a couple loads to see if we can get some C&D hauled out. So the guy had said there with half loads in most municipalities off early. He's fairly busy, but he'll try to do his best to get a few loads taken out first. Just a reminder as well that all recycling and C&D has to be sorted. That is brought into the landfill as well as the recycle bins being picked up in the village. If we don't pick up your recycling boxes in the village, they'll get tagged, but it's recycling only, not garbage, compost, frying pans we get. So we're finding that more recent. So it just, you know, taxpayers can realize that. Because if we don't recycle properly, it'll cost us a contaminated load.
Yes.
So which will pay as a garbage tipping fee when we send it out. It won't be a recycling fee, it'll be a garbage tipping fee. So we'll pay, you know, probably triple almost. So if you go to our landfill, our waste site attendants are very happy there to help you with any questions. So if you have any questions, if you're unsure, make sure you just let them know because they're there to help.
Well, that's a really good point. I hope the public that are listening are aware of that because that's so important. When a mistake is made, it costs every taxpayer in KHR to pay for that. And then for somebody that is very religious, watching very carefully, that's going to be, it's garbage. It goes into the garbage bin. So anyways, thank you, Dean. Keep going.
That's it from my report.
Okay. So before I open it up for questions, just a couple of things. We at the County of Renfrew, we had an operations committee. Council had complained to the county about the bridge coming into Killu. What's the name of that bridge?
Gold Creek.
Gold, yes. Anyway, so they came back and said that they had reviewed it. A mistake had been made. They didn't, and the Public Works manager agreed that he had overlooked it, and therefore there was a mistake made. But they had them come back in and look at it. He said it meets all the safety requirements, it meets all the speed limits, and blah, blah, blah. So then I was quiet, but they asked for my comments, which they shouldn't have, but they did. And so anyways, I did say that the council was very unhappy. I said that the county road department looked awful. They looked terrible and building something and that it would look like that, and they thought they should get away with it. So they then changed their tune, and Paul Morrow said that they will try to fix it either in this budget this year or fix it next year in their budget. So council, that's very good of you to complain. I think we as taxpayers and as council should let someone know, and we feel there's something that we should be concerned about, and they did respond positively after they told me that it was all perfect. So, I wanted to thank you for that. We're gonna be doing the tenders, for the roads, and, we're gonna be opening them, Sue, Dean and I on June the 14th. Also, something you should have been bragging about this, I wanted to congratulate Dean on his catch. So he told me that the street light, they had taken out the street light at the Coles Bridge, and, they didn't put it back, they forgot about it. And, Dean caught it, and he's notified the county, and, they're gonna come and fix it. So that's a good catch of our road super again, he is working toward, protecting our taxpayers, and the, we're on YouTube. Anyways, but I did want to give him credit, and I think council should know that he was watching and he caught that, and so our street light's gonna be going back up. That's a really good thing. Okay, I think that's all. Okay, any questions of Dean before we move to the bills? Oh, sorry, Stanley first and
Oh,
then
you
Carl.
go ahead, Sam.
That old compactor truck there, Dean, is that still the process of leaving there? Or?
Yes, he's actually been looking at it last week, trying to get it going so he can move it out of there.
Okay, Carl?
Stanley called me up Saturday, and he had a phone call from an irate taxpayer on Buck Hill and Horseshoe. So him and I went up there Sunday.
Yeah.
And we stopped into the people who lived there, and they said the road is great. And Stanley and I drove the whole thing. And you know that new Mustang down Summers is there? I'd take it and drive it across the road. There's a couple of bumps, but the road is perfect, there's nothing wrong with it.
Well, I wanna know who the, sorry, I wanna know, I wanna know,
Gravel on the road, he said it was all washed out and tore up, and
I wanna know who it is. I don't listen unless I know who the complainant is.
I don't know.
Mr. Kaplinsky.
Mr. Clifton's
Not me.
No,
What's his first name?
I can't think of his first name, but if you read the paper, especially the Thursday, this, or whatever you call it.
Valley Gazette?
Gazette, but every third paper or something, he can't sleep because there's, those dark tents or whatever I call them, kite sheds, because they're fluttering in the wind and they're too noisy and all this.
Where does he live? Why would he have
I
concerns
have
at
no
Buxton?
idea where he lives, someplace in Barnes Bay, but he owns 200 acres,
Past the Horseshoe.
just
Straight ahead.
past where, Barry Murat owned that lot.
Oh, okay, I know that, I know there. He's right, he went straight.
Yeah,
And then
so
the-
he is, I take it he's right beside, Ralph Mass.
And what was his complaint again? The road was rough.
He wanted gravel on the road.
He said the road is terrible there, like right from, Lavers up to, the best corners, and that is not even a full-fledged township road there, that's a forced road. We don't have the room there to rebuild, refix. He said if it rains for a couple hours, it's pure mud. It may get a little bit sloppy, I'm not saying it don't, but not to a point where you could get stuck. And I asked him approximately how many cars he thought went through there a day. Because I said, those roads are, they're,
Past six.
yeah, so anyway, I said, to my knowledge, that particular road, we don't even have to plow it until there's roughly maybe 7 inches of snow on it.
Yep.
So,
He was satisfied with your answer, Stanley?
no,
Yeah,
no, he wasn't. He said, but I pay taxes. I said, well, I do too, but I said, that's an option that we chose to do. If we want to own land here, we want to be paying tax. It don't matter how far you're off of the road. I said, there's people that are totally landlocked, and they still pay taxes. But I said, like, but I told him I'd go up and have a look at it, so I felt with Carol being chair of the
Yeah.
roads,
Yeah, that's the thing to
it
do.
was only fair, I called him and we went up, the two of us there, and we drove right around. In fact, we drove straight ahead. He didn't make the comment, the only load of big gravel that's on that road is what they put on between him and Ralph in that dip, you know, by the old Yatta farm there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's their problem. If they choose to buy a gravel rather than pit gravel, that's fine.
Stanley, would that happen to be the, I only know him by his nickname, Pepe Puglinsky, but I know he owns land up there somewhere.
He was married to
Henry Arskavich's daughter?
Henry Arskavich's
Oh, yeah, that's
daughter.
him.
She now is living with Joey Robles.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, watch the names. We're public, you have to be careful. Okay, all right, so, well, council, what, do you wanna go and put a whole bunch of loads of gravel down there?
Well, last time I went through there, my fork hitter, it was fine.
Yeah, I went there, maybe 2 months ago, and it was fine.
Nothing wrong with it.
Okay, anybody wanna put gravel on that road, pick your hand up.
We haven't had any other.
I wouldn't say to put gravel on it, but only if it was necessary.
Yeah, well,
And I
and
think
that's
it should
Dean,
be to the discretion of our road super.
absolutely, it's his job, yeah. Okay, if you could tell him thank you for his,
Well,
call.
I mean, if he calls me or comes back to visit me, I will certainly tell him, but.
Tell him you brought it up to council and council feels it's adequate for the class of road it is. Okay.
I've not been up there for a long time now, and I didn't get real harsh about it because I didn't know just what it looked like, but when we took a drive up there, I said, what the hell was he talking about? Like,
Everybody has a different view on everything. Some people like the 401 everywhere.
he said the most traffic is there from the most lookers, eh?
Yeah, goes to Bucket.
So all they do is bring in the pile of garbage there, eh? And, the Richards that live up there on the old Luckowitz farm, they go out there at least 3 times a week and they, like you could go up that road there, you won't find a gum wrapper there. They clean it. I told them, I said, if there's actually like an abundance of garbage, I said, let me know and I'll see how maybe can talk to council, we'll pull up the odd tag for you, just for keeping the place clean. And she said, no. She said, there's always enough beer cans and beer bottles there. When we turn them in, we can afford to get rid of the garbage.
Well, there you
That's
go.
a good lady, that's a good lady. Okay, council's given direction then, you know that we're not prepared to do anything. You can pass that on if he gets in contact with you, okay?
I'll do that.
Thank you, Stanley. Who else had their hand up for Dean?
Carol, I did. Oh.
Was that it?
That was mentioned.
Oh, okay. Dean, anything else? Okay, so Mr. Brown, if you'd like to declare.
I, Ted Brown, declare the pecuniary financial interest of road and general voucher number 04-2021.
Okay, council, you have in front of you the bills. Any questions or comments on the bills? Carl?
22715.
22715.
Mayor Sullivan.
Yeah.
She is the one that, she's the one that doing our community safety well-being plan.
So we're partners?
Yeah, we're
Yeah, I
partners.
didn't know. Oh, I remember now.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's-
Brian?
22724.
Universal Supply Group? Okay. Dean?
That's Madeline.
Oh, okay.
It's what, sir?
Madeline. on the
Yeah, they're
website.
new. Okay.
Okay, and
Okay, go ahead.
22746.
Public sector, did I just, they're our asset management, they're working, we got that grant.
We got a grant and they're
Okay.
working with us to do that asset management.
Okay, thank you. I
Yeah,
just
anybody
didn't recognize
else?
those.
Okay, no problem. Good questions.
I see somebody got the drone.
Yeah, got a drone,
Somebody got the drone.
and he's looking, he's gonna show
Oh, he's
it.
gonna show it. Oh, don't fly around the office, Chris.
Oh, he's got a look.
But keep that stuff on lockdown here.
Yeah, he got the drone and he's, in the,
Today, awesome,
oh, and he's doing the process of getting educated on it, so.
good stuff.
Okay, no other questions? I'll entertain a motion to pay the bills.
Moved by John Jeffrey, seconded by Carl Keel, motion to approve Roman General Voucher Number 04, 2021 in the amount of $550,265.57.
Questions, comments? All those in favor? Carrie, come on in. Yeah. Yes, I just want to finish, yeah. Okay. Anything else for Dean, so I can excuse him? Okay, there's just a couple of correspondence of like,
Yeah.
I would like to do if, I'll do it now.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, the first one is, just a response to Jay Blake. You all seen the response from our OPP. Commander, any comments or questions on that letter from Pat regarding Mr. Blake? Isn't that the one?
Yeah.
Anybody have anything?
Well, there's,
Okay,
so according to that letter, Mr. Blake hasn't put any complaints in at all, right?
well,
Yeah, he couldn't find anything,
he,
Yeah.
there, that's what he said, she said, yeah. So, and he said they don't respond.
but he did say it is in their system now, so
Yeah,
that if,
so that
you
they're
know,
aware.
anybody does call.
Okay, then the next one is, the Tanya Lyons letter. Any comments or questions on that? Okay. And I think that's all, Public Works Department, the county, that's the report. Okay, so is there any questions? So operations met, and I photocopied the highlights from that committee. There was something there I wanted to talk about. So we talked about, the speeding, you know, and that sign, that, flashing sign is $10,500. But they said you can buy a black cat. Okay, it's called a black cat. And what it does is, it doesn't show the driver, you know, you're speeding or anything like that, but it collects the data. That data can then be given to the OPP and can stand the argument of, you guys need to patrol more. Look at here. We put it here, and we've got 200 cars that have all been speeding. That provides the OPP with the knowledge to proceed to do something about the speeding. So that's what the county has, and a lot of townships have these black cats. I don't know, he couldn't tell me how much money they were, but I think 4 of the other municipalities that were on the call said they all have these black cats, and it collects the data, they provide it to the OPP, then when they're doing their scheduling and that, they can say, okay, we're gonna do some patrols on Queen Street because that's where we see that there's a lot of speeding. Anyways, it's just for council's information, if you're interested, that's some alternative to try to help us through that. I've got the budget there, it shows you the roads, what it's costing and all of that. Is there anything else? I think that was it, eh? Your budget, okay,
Sorry,
all right, go ahead.
that, certain amount of radar street sign that is county, are they gonna use it throughout the county?
Yes, and they mentioned that Killaloo, we're on the, so they're gonna move it, they've got, how many, 2 portables and 2 rigid ones. And the 2 portables are gonna move, and he said Killaloo is one of the designations that they're gonna come pretty soon, you know?
They
So,
can put it right on my lawn.
well, I know that there's a lot of complaints out that way about, and maybe the black cat is the answer, I don't know.
It's terrible.
Yeah, anyway, just something for council, maybe you wanna think about it for next budget, I don't know.
I'd like to know the cost of them, just to see.
Well, absolutely, and Lee couldn't tell me. I don't know if you could look into that, Dean, with the black
I have
cats.
it written down.
Okay. Brian?
So according to the OPP letter, I read it there, so there's very few complaints going in, other than Mr. Blake. So is there speeding or not happening?
Well, this-
People sit in front of their house and say, you got guys speeding.
It looks fast,
going
eh?
20 kilometers an hour, you know?
This black cat would prove our public wrong if that's the case.
It's a lot of money for,
Come sit on my deck for an afternoon and you'll see, nobody does 40.
I agree there's speeding, but I also agree with Brian.
Yeah.
I don't see any benefit.
it's not gonna.
It's not gonna
solve
change
it, no.
OPP, in my opinion, it's not gonna change OPP presence.
Yes.
They have a million other things to do, they're limited to their manpower.
He states that in his letter too, that they've been doing what they can with what
Yeah.
manpower they have, so.
Well, I wanted to bring it forward because I knew we were talking about speeding and stuff. And because other municipalities have it, I thought it was an option for this council to consider, so. Okay. That's about everything on there. So anything else, anybody for Dean, so I can excuse him? Thank you very much, Dean. Okay, we'll talk again. Okay, so council, thank you, Chris, and thank you for being so patient, Kathy and Phil. I see you're up there and you want to hear Chris's report. Thank you for being patient with council. We wanted to do some of our other business, okay, as the agenda. So, Chris, I'll ask you to give us your report and you can go ahead, okay?
Okay, I got a really good one for you, this one, so buckle in. It's going to be a really good presentation. We got lots of good news and exciting things to share. Before I get started, you're probably wondering why Kathy and Phil are here. It's a little bit unorthodox, but the project and the thing that we've been working on that I'd like to talk about next couldn't have been done without them. Their mentorship, their leadership, their help in the whole process, bringing everyone together. Of course, it was a team effort, but without their mentorship and guidance, a lot of this wouldn't have been possible. So I really wanted them to share in this extremely exciting news that I'm about to share with you. And so I'll share my screen here.
So you're allowed to do this now?
Yeah. This is the official thing, okay? So I have a big announcement, okay? We have received $30,000 for the Killu Pathways to Community Wellness from the Canada Healthies Community Initiative. So this will go towards developing the project at the former site of the Hoke Farm, and we are extremely excited to get this underway. This is a collaboration with roughly around 10 community groups, including the schools, both schools, the CRC, OV Chaos, the library, Friends of the Library, the municipality. And so we're extremely excited to announce this to you today. And I'm happy to share this with Kathy and Phil on behalf of the Friends of the Library for this really awesome thing for our community. They're very excited to see what we're going to do with this. And we'll be doing an announcement tomorrow in the press about what we're doing, but this is officially, we have got the grant. We received $30,000. So congratulations, round of applause, very exciting. And again, thank you for Kathy and Phil for being here for this monument.
To do that, Chris, I'd like to, Kathy and Phil, you were instrumental in this. And Chris kept me involved and up to date on how things are progressing. And you guys are quick on your feet. You know how to move and shake. You're movers and shakers. And Chris has learned a lot from you. You've given him a lot of good information and good experience as he moves forward in his job. So you volunteer. You're endless in your hours of volunteering to the community. So on behalf of council and the whole community, I want to thank you for participating and helping us work through all of the red tape that gets involved in a grant. So thank you to both of you so much. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so thank you very much, Kathy and Phil. I'm going to carry on with my report here. So Item number 2, the fireworks. So as Bob had mentioned, the Renfrew County District School Board is not renting out property until September. However, they will allow us to make a presentation and we'll hear out our proposal. So currently right now we have the fireworks and the Irish gathering planned on that property, and I'll be presenting next week to their group to be able to try to convince them of being allowed to do the event there. The environmental action tour will be proceeding as scheduled. We have 15 teams fully registered with over 50 participants signed up so far and more to be expected. We may have to change some of our way we're going to visit the people because of the numbers, but I will advise council on how to proceed with that so that we're following everything. Item number 4, Salvage King. So we were on TV last night on national television. So it aired May the 17th at 10 o'clock. The episode turned out really well. You can see in the left-hand side there, they got a really good picture of Killaloe and the beaver tails. And this is on the right, another aerial. And then we have our mayor with Ted outside of the sign and making a cameo in the appearance. So we'll be able to watch that tomorrow at 10 o'clock. And to the public, they can watch on the Global TV app, or they can watch on the Stack apps at any time. Oh, skipped ahead. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So just don't look. Okay. So next thing is a new contest. So I've been working with the rural planning group here, consisting of 6 municipalities in rural areas. So this contest is called Sandsational. So it's the same as Snowdown. It's basically a sculpture contest, but with sand. So this is a partnership now. So instead of ourselves, BLR and Madawaska Valley, we've also added on Bonnechere Valley and North Algonquin Wilberforce into this partnership. So we're expanding this group. We're sharing programming more. We're sharing the costs more, working with our neighbors. And this group is really working well. It works so well. It's just municipal group, and I'm really happy with the way this is going for sharing ideas and programming and everything like that. So this will be our next thing, Sandsational Sand Sculpture Contest, and it's going to start in June and run through August, and it'll be all online. Same thing as
Chris, can I stop and ask you, just because I probably asked you this, but I need reminding. So do we have to divvy up some money for prizes?
No, I'm going to pull it out of another part here. It's going to be very minimal. It's only be like $100 because it's spread out so far between everyone else. So,
okay, thank you. That's good.
Okay. Digital Duck Race is back and ready to quack. Okay. This was a huge hit last year. Everybody loved it. So I'll be climbing into Brennan's Creek and releasing a bunch of ducks down and pandemonium will ensue. There will be your usual broadcast specialist there with a usual crew of shenanigans, and I'm hoping that my new student will embrace this and want to be a part of the video as well, if not a good camera person. But I'm really excited to make this video again because people loved it last year. So it'll be the same. It'll be open on June 1st. And it'll premiere on Canada Day. Item number 7, the kayaks. So we actually got the kayaks in already. I had made this decision because of after researching all of the availability, it turns out you basically can't get these anywhere in Canada, and anyone who has them, they're selling out. So Mad Outdoors had just got a shipment in. I had been calling them a bunch, and I basically said, what's the availability? They said, we don't know when they're going to come in. So I said to jump on it because it was basically impossible to find them anywhere else and the supply chain. So we ordered the 2 kayaks. They're available from the lending library. One, as you will see on the left-hand side here, it's actually the one on the left-hand side is a 1-person kayak. No, other way around. The one on the left is a 2-person kayak, so you can actually fit a child in there. And then the other one is a 1-person kayak, and it's got storage and all kinds of things. And then we've also ordered a paddle board, but you can literally not get those anywhere, the rigid bodies right now. So as soon as they come in, we're going to get one. So it's already on order. Item number 8, summer ads. So this is a picture of the summer ads for the Eganville Leader and the Valley Gazette. It's pretty basic, but what I've decided to do, because all the events and everything are so up in the air, it's kind of hard to nail down if the dates and everything are going to actually go through. They'll have to get pushed back. So I decided to go for community events, services, tourism, and local business listings. Check out our social media pages. And I've made a new logo here for our Instagram. So now we can use that and share everything going on. But it's kind of going along with the naturally spirited theme. And that'll go in the Eganville Leader and the Valley Gazette. Item number 9, Beaver Tails. We had a big launch. It was a huge success. Ended up getting to almost 20 news outlets. I just called every newspaper from North Bay to Ottawa, and it turned out really good. A lot of them responded really well to this. It turns out people love beaver tails, and they love them a lot, and it's a really popular thing. I've loved working with the hookers and Jot, the Burke family, on this new development, and so we were working with them through the Killaloe Sunshine Fund to try to come up with some interesting new advertising things. I've got some really cool ideas. So once I break that down with the hookers and Jot, we'll come back to council with some cool ideas. But this is a picture from the photo shoot that we took.
Okay, can I stop you on that one, please?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I just want to tell council that we had a meeting with John and Pat and Grant in the chambers here. And so we were talking about them moving ahead and how the municipality can help and participate and all those things. And here, I'm always proud of Chris and his ability to come up with ideas and all that. You should have seen him in action here. Anyways, he said, Grant said, we need something, I don't know what it is, we've been, kicking ideas, we can't come up with something. We need something that's catchy, we just need something, and I cannot, Pam and I have talked about it, and we just were drawing a blank, and Chris goes, well, Chris, share what you said, and they sat back, their eyes got huge, and they were going, oh my God, that's what we want. So within 10 seconds, he had something, so just tell them what you said.
Yeah, sure. So so what they were looking for was basically to do some sort of stories, because there's a lot of interesting stories about how the beaver tails came about. But what they really want to focus on in this new advertising campaign is how much Killaloe and the area played a role in making them who they were. They said, without people being so accepting of us, and we were kind of quirky, it wouldn't have been possible. So without Killaloe, this wouldn't have been possible. So I said, well, what about a play on words? Instead of saying it takes a village to build a person, what about it takes a village to build a beaver tail? And they really love that one. So that's kind of the theme that we're going to be going for, is talking about how Killaloe specifically and the area was so unique and accepting of this business that it actually was one of the reasons why it was so successful. And they're right on board with that, which is awesome, because it's not just going to be something like here's beaver tails, Killaloe. It's actually like a feeling, because it's the pastry also goes along with that, right? Like you eat a beaver tail and you're automatically transported to another world because it's so good, and you have memories associated with that. So I'm really excited to see where this can go, and they're really on board. And thank you for your kind words. I really appreciate that. It's my pleasure. I love being able to come up with all these ideas, and everybody supports it. So thank you so much for that.
And that was a goal. So that's it. They've already decided that's their logo kind of thing. 10 seconds. The other thing I'll make note of, and Jonathan and the Burkes are wonderful, wonderful people. And he was, he's excited about expanding his family's interest in the community. And so they're really excited. Did you hear anything more about the opening then? He told me to be here on the 20th. I don't know if you heard any more then about that.
I haven't heard anything. I'll reach out to them. From what I understand, they're looking to just go ahead anyways, but I'll make a note of that in my notepad here, and I'll confirm that they're still going ahead. But as far as I had heard, they were planning to go ahead with the opening on the 20th, and then they'll do a grand opening whenever everything is more open.
Just confirm that, because he asked me to be here on Thursday at 11:30. He wants to serve me the first beaver tail, so I don't know if he wants to do that. Just let me know, Chris, okay?
Absolutely.
The other thing, just a point of interest, is Jot had never tasted a beaver tail in his life. he said, I just heard such good things about it and about Pam and Grant, what wonderful people they were, and so they decided to buy it. So anyways, Pam and Grant couldn't believe that he'd never tasted it, and he on their, chatting with them, that he decided to buy it. So all good news. Anyways, okay, Chris, thank you.
Okay, and then I just one more slide here. So just some other updates. Instagram, it's going. We have 91 followers. I will be getting our summer student to help me with this specifically. This is going to be one of the tasks I'll be giving to her, because it's a really good opportunity to learn about social media and develop a platform. I also need a lot of help to get content. Instagram is all about content, having lots. And so I'm really excited to see where she goes with this, because I think there's a lot of opportunity to create really cool, interesting content. And especially as we get the drone and everything going, it's really going to be cool. So, so far 91 followers, I'm pretty happy with that, but we'll be growing that as we get along and get more content and things like that. The BA Sign Project, thank you so much for supporting that. It's been my pleasure to work with this group, and we continue to work with them and meeting with them on a regular basis. Same with this rural planning group, continuing to meet with them. As you saw, the sensational projects coming out of that. Pilot's license, I'm working along. I'm hoping within the next, at the very latest, a month, I'll be able to get my certificate to get going, and then working towards the more advanced side of that. Economic development, I'm actually in the course this week, and it is awesome. It is the best course ever. I'm learning so much how to help Killaloe Haggerty Richards from an economic development standpoint. I'm learning so much about where I need to go in the future and how to set up the municipality for that. So I thank the council for supporting that, and I'm thoroughly enjoying this course, and I'm learning a lot. And then finally, the Mcdougall Grant, I will be submitting 2 proposals this week, entries, one for the Killaloe Pathways project, and one with the KHR Volunteer Rec Group to try to get a topping set up for their sports field. So that is my presentation.
Okay, so we'll go back then. Any comments or questions about the big announcement? Again, congratulations, well done. Number 2, the fireworks. The environmental, number 3, the environmental action tour.
When do we get our t-shirts? Because I think
It's
it's next
in.
week. I think it's next week, right?
Yeah, it's next week. I'll have to, just because of the regulations and no one being able to come here, I'll be hand delivering them to everyone's door next week. But if you want, I can grab you one here before the meeting.
I'm here every day, so you can leave.
Yeah, mine can be left here too. I can always pop in during the week.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, they look, they're bright. We will be seeing, they're a hunter. I never thought I was going to be wearing a hunter color.
They flipped you to the dark
You
side.
got me extra small, like Chris.
I thought it was XX small.
Okay, number 4, Salvage Kings.
I missed it, sorry.
Well, again, you can come tomorrow at 10 here, and he'll have it on the screen. Number 11 is, congratulations, the partnership with the other municipalities. I'm so proud of you, Chris, on that front, that you're able to, we work together with them, and it's a good showing our provincial government how we're cooperating and we're partnering, and that's all in our favor to do that. Council, any questions on the sandcastle that the 7 of us should build?
I don't think you'd like my sandcastle.
So that'll be a development of it in the future, is we actually want to have that event in person later on. So in the future, we could do that, but
Competition.
Maybe in 2 or 3 years. Okay, the digital duck race. Okay, anything on the other updates? I don't have the contract. Okay.
Beaver tails.
Okay, the beaver tails, anything on that? What's the next one? This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything on the last page then? The Mcdougall Grant, rural planning, pilot's license, the BIA sign, Instagram, any comments or questions? Okay, thank you again, Kathy and Phil, for joining us, and Chris, thank you very much, a very good report. Oh, you're saying goodbye, okay. All right, so thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow, Chris and Kathy and Phil, thank you very much, and thank you for joining us this evening.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, let's move on then to the CAO, so, resolution about the PSAB.
Yes, I have everybody got a copy?
PSAB, does anybody know what PSAB is?
Public service. We have to do it every year.
I know we have to do. Okay, so you have a motion?
Yes, I
Okay,
do.
council motion on the floor.
Moved by Debbie Kukunski, second by Carl Keel, that pursuant to section 2(1) Ontario Regulation 28409 Municipal Act 2001, the Council of the Township of Kilburn, Hickory, and Richards hereby adopts the report as attached as approval of the exclusion of amortization expenses in the 2021 budget for the Township of Kilburn, Hickory, and Richards.
Discussion? All those in favor? It's carried, thank you. Next one, resolution about surplus land.
Yes.
Okay,
Moved by Carl Kale, second by John Jeffrey, that the Council of the Township of Kilburn, Hickory, and Richards hereby declares the property described as follows as being surplus to the needs of the municipality. Parts of the original road allowance for road along the shore of Round Lake in front of Lot 11 Concession 2 in the geographic Township of Richards, and for the sale thereof to the abutting landowners and the granting of a flooding easement over parts thereof.
comments, questions? All those in favor? It's carried. Anything else?
Well, the only thing is, I put on your desk today the
Oh, yes, that's council's remuneration.
Yes.
Any comments or questions on that? Okay, go ahead.
and that's it for me.
All right, we go to committee reports then. Could we have the minutes of the board meeting, April 19th? Do we have a motion, please?
Moved by Brian Kukowski, second by Debbie Kaplinski, motion to approve the minutes of the of the board review committee held on April 19th, 2021.
All those in favor? Carried. Okay, the next one is fire meeting, open and close.
Yes.
Okay.
Moved by Stanley Kukowski, second by Brian Kukowski, motion to approve the minutes of the fire committee meeting held on March 6th, 2019, open and closed session.
All those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, so we have a lot of bylaws, so let's go through those. So I need a motion for bylaw 16, 20, 21, amend the schedule of fees for municipal services. Motion on the floor.
Moved by Brian Kukowski, second by Debbie Kaplinski, motion for first and second reading of bylaw 16, 2021, being a bylaw to repeal bylaw 30, 2002 to establish a schedule of fees for municipal services.
Comments? All those in favor? Carried. First reading short?
Please.
Bylaw 16, 2021.
Discussion. Second reading short?
Please.
Bylaw 16, 2021.
Discussion. Motion for third.
Moved by John Jeffrey, seconded by Brian Kukowski, motion for third reading of bylaw 16, 2021.
Bylaw 17, 2021.
Well, you can say.
Any questions?
Third reading short.
So do these come into effect immediately? These
What was the date on the effect? Yeah.
Once the bylaws are read, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, sorry, I didn't ask questions, sorry. Okay,
Getting tired.
all right, I'm tired, yes.
Third reading short.
Third reading short?
Please.
Bylaw 16, 2021. Okay, so you want to sign these now or you're here to?
Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Bylaw 17, 2021, amend the water sewage rate bylaw. First and second reading. First and second motion for first and second.
Moved by Brian Pikowski, second by Carl Keel. Motion for first and second reading of bylaw 17/2021, being a bylaw to establish water rate for the year 2021, to provide sufficient revenue to meet the estimates required for the operation of the water and sewage plant.
All those in favor? Carried. First reading short, please.
Bylaw 17/2021.
Discussion? Second reading short, please.
Bylaw 17/2021.
Discussion. Motion for third.
Moved by Carl Keel, second by Debbie Kuplinski. Motion for third reading of bylaw 17/2021.
All those in favor? Third reading short, please.
Bylaw 17/2021.
Okay. Bylaw 18/2021, amend the construction bylaw. Motion.
Moved by Carl Keel, seconded by John Jeffrey. Motion for first and second reading of bylaw 18/2021, being a bylaw to repeal and replace bylaw respecting construction, demolition, and change of use permits and inspections.
All those in favor? Carried. First reading short, please.
Bylaw 18/2021.
Discussion. Second reading short, please.
Bylaw 18/2021.
Motion for third reading.
Moved by Stanley Pikowski, second by Carl Keel. Motion for third reading of bylaw 18/2021.
All those in favor? Carried. Third reading short, please.
Bylaw 18/2021.
Bylaw 19/2021, motion for first and second.
Moved by Stanley Pikowski, second by John Jeffrey. Motion for first and second reading of bylaw 19/2021, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 16/2015, being a bylaw to regulate disposal of refuse at the waste disposal sites within the township of Sterling, Haverty, and Richards, and the collection of household refuse and recycling materials in the village of Killaloe, and establish a schedule of fees for the disposal of items at the waste.
All those in favor? Carried. First reading short, please.
Bylaw 19/2021.
Comments? Second reading short, please.
Bylaw 19/2021.
Discussion. Motion for third.
Moved by John Jeffrey, second by Brian Pikowski. Motion for third reading of bylaw 19/2021.
All those in favor? Carried. Third reading short, please.
Oh, bylaw 19/2021.
Okay, bylaw 2021, first and second, motion please.
Moved by Carl Keel, second by Stanley Pikowski. Motion for first and second reading of bylaw 2021 to amend bylaw 13/2001, being a bylaw respecting the enclosure of privately owned outdoor swimming pools.
Discussion. All those in favor? Carried. First reading short, please.
Moved bylaw 2021.
Discussion. Second reading short,
Please.
Bylaw 2021.
motion for third reading.
Moved by Carl Keel, second by John Jeffrey. Motion for third reading of bylaw 2021.
All those in favor? It's carried. Third reading short, please.
Bylaw 2021.
Motion for bylaw 21, first and second.
Moved by Brian Pikowski, second by Carl Keel. Motion for first and second reading of bylaw 21/2021, being a bylaw to adopt estimates of all sums required for municipal purposes during the year and to strike the rates of taxation for the year 2021, and to provide, to further provide for penalty and interest in default of payment thereof.
All those in favor? Count carried. First reading short, please.
Bylaw 21/2021.
Discussion. Second reading short, please.
Bylaw 21/2021.
Discussion. Motion for third reading.
Moved by Stanley Pikowski, seconded by John Jeffrey. Motion for third reading of bylaw 21/2021.
All those in favor? Carried. Third reading short, please.
Bylaw 21/2021.
Motion for bylaw 22/21. First and second reading only.
Yes. Moved by John Jeffrey, seconded by Carl Keel. Motion for first and second reading of bylaw 22/2021. Being a bylaw to provide for the stopping and closing of parts of the original allowance for road along the shore of Brown Lake in front of Lot 11, concession 2 in the geographic township of Richards, and for the sale thereof to the abutting landowners and the granting of a flooding easement over parts thereof.
All those in favor? Carried. First reading short, please.
Bylaw 22, 2021.
Comments? Second reading short, please.
Bylaw 22, 2021.
Discussion. Okay, we're moving on then to correspondence. Council, I'm going to go relatively quickly. If you want me to stop and talk about something, then stop me, otherwise I'm gonna go. First is from John Dixon, a letter, comments or questions? Okay, next is the Renfrew County Winter Games.
Is this given to Chris for the Winter Games? That way. I know,
But I told Chris he's way too busy, and
thank you.
Chris is gonna be working on the stuff that we're gonna be able to do in our municipality, so we're too busy for that, so. This is the meeting with Ottawa River, and this is what Carl and I will be attending.
That's where I'm going as well. It's via Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay,
They invited everybody, so I thought I could pitch in on, if that's okay. I sent an email.
yeah, I said it was okay.
Okay, thank you.
Carl is the only member that can speak at that
Yeah,
meeting.
and that's fine. I just wanted to
Okay.
listen in.
Yeah, and I can't unless I'm invited, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Next is the letter from the Attorney General.
Sorry, Madam Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Do you
sorry.
want to do it here, or do you want,
I'm gonna come here.
okay, I can do it at home.
Yeah, and it's, the invitation is extended to all members of council as well.
They always do that, but I asked council that, it's just like Stanley going to the veterinarian, he's the member, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you did ask, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, liquor license, any comments or questions on that? The OPP, we talked about that from Pat, the response. The Ottawa River Corp.
Aqua?
The notice of
Yeah, okay, we got
non-compliance.
the wrong, okay, Aqua, sorry, I was following you.
Sorry.
Okay, so yes, and it's only a paper thing, it's not, no problem with the water.
You're not gonna get a phone call on.
No, when I seen it, I stormed into Sue's office and I said, you didn't tell me. But anyway, so, no, not a problem, I want the people of Killaloe to know everything's safe,
Yeah.
it was a paper thing.
Okay.
And then we addressed the Tanya Alliance letter, anything further on that? Okay, Ottawa Valley Business letter. A letter from Lori about the cats, what's council's wishes on that?
She's talking about a clinic.
Okay, what's council's wishes?
Well, the same as we have in Joel, there's not much we can do.
Well, we do, our bylaw says that if it's a health and safety issue, so if there's cats and they're, it becomes unsafe, a health and safety issue, we do address it, but otherwise, it would be very costly to look after the cats in the municipality, but it is council's decision. I'd like to be able to answer her and say that council considered it, and that we're either prepared to do something or we're not. So we need to say that, and we could say, if we decide to go not, then we should cite to her that the only time council addresses it is if it's a health and safety issue, if it becomes emergency kind of thing. So council, yes, Brian, did you have a comment?
Just wondering, would she not be better off calling the Humane Society or one of those?
I don't like to recommend that, just I think we have nothing, we're not, if council agrees, we have nothing to do with it, and then she should address it her own way. I just think that's the best. Okay, so council, those of you that agree with me that we tell her that we don't, our bylaw does not address cats, only if it's an emergency situation and health and safety. Those in favor of that? Thank you, that's unanimous. All right, Township of Bonshire Valley, increase in fire eligibility. I think that's something we should maybe support, because we never get any money usually for anything. Does council want to make a motion? It's up to council though. While Debbie's writing that up, and the next one is the exemption on Canada shipping. Okay, nobody seems interested in that one. Okay, Grace Buchanan, she wants to volunteer.
She did last year, right?
Yeah, now the only thing is she'd have to have a safety check and put her in the middle of kids.
Yeah, safety check, and then she'd have to do the training
Yes,
here, even.
so
she has-
council, show of hands that if we run the program, if we're able to, that we'd allow her to do that. Okay, good. So can I leave you to talk to Chris and Tyler to make sure about that, okay? The next one is, we're putting that on hold. Robbie called me and they want to regroup and do a little more research, so we'll be addressing that later, okay? Is there any other correspondence? Oh, the new, oh yeah, was that the only thing? That was the only thing, okay, good. All right. So Debbie, we'll wait for your motion then, and then we'll continue on.
What is it? What is it specifically?
Oh,
I know it's.
asking to increase fire eligibility grants.
Okay.
Just say we support the motion by
Yeah.
Bossier Valley.
Regarding what it is.
Yeah, dated, and just put that exactly in.
Increase firefighter.
Increase fire eligibility grants, dated, the motion from them dated and the date.
Firefighters, what, sorry, Madam Mayor? I'm drawing.
An increase to fire eligibility
Okay.
grants.
Okay, there it is, eligibility that I was missing.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
No, my fault.
Does anybody, oh, okay. Okay, motion on the floor?
Moved by Debbie Klinsky, second by Carl Keel, motion to support the resolution from the township of Bossier Valley, dated May 6, 2021, to increase firefighter eligibility.
All those in favor? Carried, thank you. Okay, we're moving on then to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business?
The only thing I think I mentioned, Sue had emailed all of council a copy of the strategic plan.
Yes.
Okay. Just to bring it, so it shows the strategic plan going from 2017 to 2021.
Yeah.
So there's nothing after 2021. So I'd like to, maybe we can, and I'm not saying now, but maybe in the fall, we could look at moving some dates, as we now have the first 5 years, and now we can look at the next.
There's a committee for that, isn't there?
I think it's finance,
Oh,
which is all council. We never actually had a strategic plan committee.
I thought sunset, it sunsetted. Okay. All right, so full council can look at it, and then in the fall we can. look at
Maybe,
it.
yeah, but
Okay.
it's just, if you guys, and we can talk to, Chris has got some good ideas, with
Yeah.
economic development,
That's
and it's just
a-
like out into the future.
That's a really good meeting to, full council needs to participate, because everybody has a good ideas, and they, we should vote on whether they should go on that strategic plan or not. So maybe that's something that, and also we need staff input.
Yeah,
So maybe we could do, if, council could, we could do a day thing.
we could do a day thing, yeah, like, even if it's just half a day, and we
Yeah,
can do it
half a
maybe even
day.
towards the end of the summer, or
Yeah.
something like that, before hopefully things kick off again in
That's right.
September for.
Does everybody agree with that?
And we'll pick a date later on in
Yeah, we'll pick a
July or
date.
something, but it's just, right now showing nothing beyond 2021.
Sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, where am I? What did I do with my? Oh, there it is. Any new business? New business? Okay, then I need a motion to go in camera. I've got a couple of issues. Sue talked about what they are, so, okay, a motion on the floor. Moved by Debbie, second by Carl. Be it resolved that council will move to a meeting pursuant to section 239 of the municipal act 2001 as amended for the following reasons: litigation of potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunal and municipal. Is that? I didn't hear you. Litigation, yeah, that's good. Okay, this man just